Yeah. Blazer Gang.
What's up, everybody? Boyd here with the Blazer Gang podcast. As always, I'm with your boy CMA, Chris,
What's
and
up?
Alex. We got a little special episode for you today. Normally, we're recording in the studio, but we have a couple guests with us. We got Chef Kenny, Chef B, some of the personal chefs of your favorite Portland Trailblazers. So we figured, why not throw it down in the kitchen, right? Now, if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or podcast, I want you to make sure that you go and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, because since we got video today, we're going to be putting this up on social media so you can see all the great food that these gentlemen are going to be putting down for us.
It's going to be a good episode, man. It's going to be good today.
I can't wait to eat it, but I'm more interested in, guys, what are you going to be making for us today?
Well, today we got a little southern favorite. It's some shrimp and grits, a little hometown recipe for you.
You putting your own twist on it?
Yeah.
Little spin on there.
Yeah. Now, I know I had some good shrimp and grits down in Dallas when I was living in Dallas for a little bit, so I hope your guys' top, what I tasted down in Dallas before, so
We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do.
For sure.
Well, that said, let's get this episode of Rip City Kitchen started.
Yeah.
So, you let me know if I can help with anything, but other than that, we're going to let you guys work your magic.
Oh, yeah, we good to go.
Get to it.
Yeah.
All right.
So, kind of one of the first questions I have for y'all is like, what inspired you to get into like cooking?
Well, for me, I've always been cooking. It's something that I just like to do since I was a kid. And once we had the opportunity to go to school for it and be able just to get certified and get some more knowledge, took the chance, and after that we just took off from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really just, we're brothers, right? So, we would be at home, moms would be busy. She was raising all of us and working multiple jobs, going to school, doing things as most mothers do. And we'd be home. So we were able to take care of our siblings. So since we were there with the siblings, we were the ones responsible for making sure that the food and things were taken care of. So we started being creative. And then there was an outlet in school where we took vocational classes during high school for culinary, and it just helped open the door to, I really like this. Like, we do it at home and we're really good already at it. Why not see where this really can go?
Right. Yeah. Now, I can relate. When I was younger, my mom and dad, they were at work, after school. I got to watch my little sister, so my mom was like, yo, cook something for your little sister. I know I couldn't cook too much when I was young, but, I make the breakfast food, some eggs and some pancakes or something.
Yeah.
But I could definitely, agree upon that. When you're younger, you're in the kitchen with your family, you just try and cook something.
Just trying to feed yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I kind of stuck to the hamburger helpers.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
Heat some meat up, throw some seasoning in there, pasta, you good to go.
For sure.
I remember one day, me and Chef Ken were there, and we didn't have any breading.
Yeah.
And so we decided, let's try something out. We actually crushed up a bag of Cheetos, cheesy Cheetos, and breaded the chicken and did it kind of like, how you have the shake and bake? We kind of did it that way in the oven. Actually, it was really good.
Yeah. I wish we could have got the Cheetos a little bit more ground up or crunchy, because like you could see little Cheeto pieces still on it, man.
Right.
It was crazy.
For sure. So if you guys want, can you elaborate on what are you guys doing right now as you guys prepare the shrimp and grits?
Right now, I'm just mincing up the garlic, getting all of the parsley, shallots, and green onions, or some people call them scallions, ready for the recipe. He's starting on the shrimp and getting the grits and the broth going.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty simple right now. It's nothing until it all comes together in the pot.
Right. Now, I know when I was little, I liked Emma Lagasse. When you guys were young, did you guys watch some cooking shows?
Yes, I watched Good Eats with Alton Brown.
Okay, yeah.
I like the science of food, so it was cool to watch him just say that these are the molecules that are breaking down when you sear a steak and why you add salt to it. I always learned something interesting about what he was doing. I used to watch a lot of Emerald. I used to watch Supermarket Sweep too when I was a kid.
I remember
And
that.
it wasn't that they were cooking, it's just that guys' grocery games now is kind of a mix of Supermarket Sweep, where you're supposed to know about what's in the aisles, what's
Right.
going on, what food costs
Yeah.
what. So I've always had an affinity for shopping and getting ingredients and things like that.
You ever participate in anything like that? See how quick you can get your grocery shopping done?
No, I did it as a date once.
Really?
You know, like I did a chop competition as a date once, but I've never been able to really like formally do it as a competition or like. But I would like to. It sounds fun.
So, I mean, y'all cooked for Damian Lillard, CJ, Nurk, Anthony. You know, am I missing any?
Yeah,
The rest of the team.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, we got a new chef to the team, Chef Maso, man.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He just picked up Mario Hazonia and Rodney Hood. So those are the two that we have just added this year, and now we're up to 6 guys on the team, and it's just a great feeling. It's a great feeling to be able to help the team do what they're trying to do and get to this championship.
Yeah. Like what brought you to Portland though initially? Like, cause you're not from here. Correct?
No, not at all. I was just working in Arizona, and life was just kind of at a standstill, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And he had just won Rookie of the Year. I had come to visit towards the end of his rookie year, and everything seemed nice up here.
Yeah.
I made a couple visits, and then one thing led to another, and I said I was going to come up. And I moved up here, and so began the story.
The rest is history.
Yep.
So being Portland is kind of a real food town. Do you have a favorite like restaurant around here?
Right now, I would say Mother's Bistro.
Others.
Okay,
They
yeah.
have a new
It's a
like
deep
kind
cut.
of an evening, like there's a second place. It's the Velvet Lounge, I believe it's called.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Man, the shrimp and grits there are nice too.
Pretty good, okay.
Yeah, man. The chef there, he's a bad man. He goes to work. So I like the food there. Usually, I'm at home when I cook though. So
What about you, Chef B? What's your favorite restaurant in Portland?
yeah.
You know, I haven't gotten out because I do right now myself. I'm on keto. I follow the keto diet. So I've been on my weight loss journey. So I do a lot of cooking at home. I don't eat out as much because of that. But when I was eating out and having places, in which I'm really sad that when it's closed, but I used to like Overlook Cafe. My brother actually put me on over there, and they had a mean biscuits and gravy, man. That was like, all right, and now it's closed, but it was one of my favorite places to go, man. Like, it was so good.
Boy, what's your favorite place?
Ooh, my favorite place. I mean, this is kind of a cop out because I live like 1 block away. But my favorite spot right now is probably Lardo. I mean, I just love sandwiches. Like, I'm more of like a handheld eater, you know. But Lardo got some great sandwiches. Man.
Okay, yeah. I like I forget the name of it right now. I'm blanking, but it's over there off of Alberta, and they do the breakfast biscuits and everything like that.
Fine steak.
That's what it is.
Fine
Yeah,
steak.
yeah.
I've heard
It's,
about that.
over there is great, man. They got the.
I've
They
seen
got,
CJ talking about that place.
yeah, if you haven't gone there, man, you gotta go
I
there.
have
It's
not.
nice. It's nice.
Yeah, I heard it's good. I haven't been there, but I
Yeah.
need to check that out.
No,
That'll be
they
on my
have.
list now.
Yeah, they have
They
like
got a couple locations too.
Oh, the only one I know is off of Alberta. So.
I know they got one like on like 12th and Division or something like that, or 11th and Division, somewhere around there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll check that out myself.
All right. So how's this bacon coming along, Chef B?
Smelling good.
Oh yeah, it's coming together, man. I actually posted the other day about how to make good bacon where it's not curling up on you. It was actually I guess. And like I was telling people, what you need to do is if you really want to make your bacon straight and where it doesn't curl up and you want to heat your bacon up with your pan. You know what I mean? So if you want, you put it in there while it's cold. Put the bacon in there as well and slowly bring it up to temp. And don't cook it on like high. A lot of people are impatient.
Yeah.
Cooking it takes time. You know what I mean? So you need to make sure that you're not rushing it, because what happens when you rush it, you'll burn it. And then you're going to be upset because it's not cooking evenly or whatever the case is. So I just slow and go. And you can come out with real good bacon, man. And it's going to be real good right here. And I use this bacon as a part of the grease, as a component in the sauce that I'm making for the shrimp and grits.
That's the best way to go.
Yeah.
Anytime I do a recipe and it says like discard the grease, I'm like, nah.
Some recipes you gotta keep the grease. You know, it adds a little flavor.
I mean,
or
if you got a sauce,
consistency.
anything with a sauce,
Yeah.
like it's just more flavor.
Yeah.
Like, why am I gonna get rid of all that chicken fat? You know?
Right.
So, Chef Kenny, how long have you been a chef?
I would say I've been cooking since I was about 18, 19, but formally I went into business for myself about 5 years ago.
Okay.
So yeah, just started there. Dame was my first client, and then I've had clients. I had Alshon Jeffrey
Okay.
of the Eagles. I had Alan Crabb when he was here. Evan Turner before he got traded last year. So yeah, I've been cooking for a long time. Like you were saying, for our family and occasions and things like that. It's kind of an honor when the adults in my family say you can make a dish for Thanksgiving or a holiday or something like that.
It's a rite of passage at that
Yeah,
point.
so I've been around for a little while. You know what I mean? When they call you and say you're on macaroni and cheese duty, then you know you pretty much crossed over.
For sure.
Speaking of Thanksgiving coming up in a couple of weeks, Chef Kenny, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dish? Like to eat or to cook?
My favorite Thanksgiving dish? Ooh, that's a hard one. I would say fried turkey.
Ooh,
Because
fried
when
turkey.
done right, it's moist and crispy and flavorful and everything you want out of turkey.
Are you doing the pressure cooker?
No, it's I would put it in a big vat outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way to
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
That's the way
and
to
I'm just
go.
gonna let that thing fry, man.
What about you, Chef B? What's your favorite?
I'm a mac and cheese person, man. I'm always, I'm loving to jump in on the mac and cheese
Yeah.
and cornbread.
Okay,
Yeah, you know,
cornbread.
Chef B did a little cornbread challenge a little while ago. You know, it was going viral for a second there.
Instagram.
Yeah, I love cornbread, man. It's one of those things, and I feel like Thanksgiving can't be right without cornbread. Like, what kind of Thanksgiving is that?
For sure.
How about you, Chris?
Me is between my grandma's chicken, you know, fried chicken, and then I got an auntie. She makes a banana pudding. It's just so good. Like, I have no words, like, it's that good.
The vanilla wafers.
of course, you gotta put the vanilla wafers on there, man. You gotta, you know, outline it with the vanilla wafers, and then what she does, she'll crumble the vanilla wafers also and put it on top. So it's like a little, it's good, man. It's good. It's real good.
Personally, I'm surprised this hasn't been said yet. I go with the yams with the marshmallow.
Okay, yeah.
Especially if you put it on broil for just a little bit and get that kind of caramelized marshmallow on top. Like, I'll eat a whole pan of that.
For sure.
Yeah, I like the banana pudding too. I also make a mean banana pudding ice cream.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've never heard that one before.
yeah.
I'm gonna have
It's
to
a
try that
mean
one
one
out.
right there.
Have you ever made your own ice cream?
Oh yeah, that's what I make. I make
Oh,
my
you
own.
make your
banana-
own, yeah.
My banana pudding ice cream is made from scratch. I make my own.
That's a whole process.
Yeah, and it's fun though. I mean, and it's really good. I use a little different thing. I don't always just use the vanilla wafers. I use the chessman cookies as well.
Okay.
Yeah, those are a good flavor additive too.
So since we got, we know that you guys, you know, cook for Dame and CJ and Nerd and Hood. What is your guys' take so far on the season so far with the Blazers?
In what I don't know how to answer that as a whole. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean?
I would say, I mean, we're off at a 4-8 start so far.
Yeah. Okay. So to answer that, bad.
Yeah,
To answer
for sure.
that, to answer that portion, plain and simple, bad.
Right.
But that has nothing to do with the outlook that I see for the team. That has nothing to do with the future that we have. I think that we are now in a space where the West is prime for the taking. We just got to understand that it's an 82-game season, and we live in the 2K era where you want to see a lot of wins. And, a prime product, so to speak. So everyone's looking to see how we look as a whole over the course of a year when it comes to filling the seats and the fans being happy and things of that nature, when in actuality, it's just about chemistry. And I think that if we can build the chemistry closer to All-Star break, make sure that we're above 500, I think that we'll be fine. You know, no one wants to start with a losing record, but It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Right.
That's a fact.
It kind of reminds me of like a few years back, like the year when LaMarcus and all those guys left, and we did that quick rebuild.
Oh yeah.
I think it was that year where we started off like 10 and 20, and then we ended up making the playoffs like the 5th or the 4th seed. So, you know, when you got a whole bunch of new guys on the team, it does take time to get used to each other. Like you go to the gym, you play with some friends you've known for 3 years, 4 years, you fit much better together than if you just on a random pickup team.
Right.
You know? I think that over time we're going to see that chemistry build, especially on the defensive end. Like everybody talks about, the Blazers 19th in defense right now. Doesn't look good, but that's mainly just chemistry and communication. You know, knowing who's responsible for what and who's making what rotation. And I've seen it improve. Like from game 1 to now game 12.
Oh yeah.
You have seen improvements. It's just not quite where we need to be in the end.
And with that, having Dame and CJ, the leaders of the team, I think just talking with the new guys, it could turn around. Especially with now we have Melo.
Free Melo.
Yeah, free Melo. He's finally free. Now he's with the Blazers. I think Dame, being the head guy, everybody's just gonna listen and surround him and just follow his word and his lead.
Yeah, I think he's got some things that he can do for us that we need. Like teams have been doing that boxing one style trap their game where they just attack in that half court, and we don't necessarily have a high post guy that's real reliable.
Right.
And
that's
one
what
thing
Melo
do is hit that 15-foot shot.
Exactly.
And so if you have him there with a threat to score, you also got CJ and Hood and then Whiteside down on the block. You can really do some things out of that.
I think it's promising. I think with his shooting expertise, he's a career 37% 3-point shooter.
Somewhere around there.
That's something that the Blazers need right now.
Yeah.
Bazemore, he's been hitting his shot recently,
Yeah,
so that's opening up things for Dame and CJ. So I think it'll be promising.
Chef B, what's your take on Nas?
I like Nas, man. I think he's a good component to the team. I feel like he's going to be a good piece. He's a young guy.
19.
And I just see the promising future, man. And I know that we got to get him young and get him in there, man. He looks good to me. We should always see, though,
Yeah.
We got to see how it goes. But I feel like it's promising. How about you?
I like his energy. Like, one thing I noticed, I don't want to bring this up, but that loss of the Warriors, one thing I noticed is they had a lot of young guys who just had that extra motivation, to play hard. And I think Nas really brought that in his one game that he got to start. And for that reason, I'd like to see him get some more minutes when possible. Because you're not going to rely on him so much with the offense, but offensive rebounds, putbacks, defense, he's not afraid to mix it up and get on the ground. And we need that.
I describe him as a young Gerald Wallace.
Okay.
Just raw, get after the defensive end, can make the athletic plays. And Gerald, he played for us for 1 or 2 years back in the day.
Yeah.
So, that's my take on Nasir. He's a young Gerald Wallace, just raw talent. And the sky's the limit for him.
If we're going to talk about young guys, we got to mention Simon.
Oh, yeah, man. Simon's been balling, man.
I've been ready for it. Ever since last season ended, I was like, I'm ready for him to get some minutes.
Right.
He's ready to play.
Chef Kenny.
Yeah.
What have y'all been feeding Anthony, man?
Oh man, that's we can't give you that. But right now we get on the we can't give you that. All I can say is that we on the Hulk formula right now.
Okay.
We're trying to fill him with them gamma rays, man, and by this All-Star, we want to see some dunk contest action.
Yeah.
We want everybody to see that 3 is deadly. You know what I mean? He has some on-ball and off-ball skills that I think the world is going to get to see. And hopefully, you just sit back and watch, man. I can't say what we're feeding, but it's definitely, you're going to see a different guy.
Oh,
You're going to see a different guy this year.
For sure. Now, what are you doing right now with the shrimp?
Right now, we are just taking the shells off the shrimp, but we're going to leave the tail on.
Okay.
We like that for presentation. Sometimes if you're doing a gumbo or something like that, you don't really want to leave it on. But in this case, we are. Just a quick deshell, and then it's going to go over there to that bacon fat so we can get a nice crust and sear on it. And then start the sauce for the for the shrimp and grits.
Okay. Now the other day, like I was telling you guys earlier, I made a chicken Alfredo with some broccoli and shrimp.
Yeah.
And when I took the tails off the shrimp, you know, but it came out pretty good. You know, my family liked it. You know?
Okay.
So.
See, like, hey, it's funny you say that, man. Like, everybody can cook. You know, it's the same way everybody can play basketball, or everybody can play a instrument or something like that. It's really just about how well you do it, and if you decide to devote your 10,000 hours to that particular thing.
Right.
Me, just in particular, I chose cooking. So I love it, and we hear a lot of times, yeah, man, it's not as good as yours. Well, it's like playing basketball with Dame. It's like, well, my shot isn't as good as yours. But yeah, man, you practice every day. So it's just about putting more passion to it, and anything that you do, as long as you love it, and you give it a little bit more time than you give something else, then you'll get better at it, you know. So I'm sure it was good.
Yeah, for sure. Now, like you said, with practice makes perfect, and you know, having a routine. When you cook, Chef Kenny, what do you do in the kitchen? Do you listen to music? Do you just 5 hours? What do you do?
Yes. If I'm feeling anxious, when I get into the kitchen, the first thing I put on is the Mo Better Blues intro song from the soundtrack, Mo Better Blues with Denzel Washington. Like, I feel like those horns really calm me down and let me think about getting everything in place and then starting. And then once I do that, that's when I turn on the baby. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta start slow and center it, and then you're ready for war. You know what I mean? Because once you're calm and you know what you're doing, you can execute in the most excited circumstances. But I want to be excited while I'm doing it. I don't want to be calm during wartime.
Yeah.
I want to be ready, but know that the plan is already set because I was calm when I said it.
Yeah, then you're gonna execute it.
Exactly.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
I
we're just
see
down
it.
to execution.
I see
How about you, Chef B? You got any particular music you like to listen to when you cook?
Man, honestly, I'm an R&B guy myself,
Okay.
so I listen to a lot of R&B. But then I also have my moments where I want to be hyped too, like you saying, the baby. I listen to all kind of different stuff. I even listen to Dame's tracks sometimes, you know, just motivation stuff like. But I also love smooth jazz, so just depending on what I'm doing, I can be in the kitchen with listening to the smooth jazz station just fine.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I told you, the kitchen is my sanctuary. It's where I find the most peace and calm. So where others get distracted and they're stressed out by the kitchen, not for me. This is where I thrive. So if you put some smooth jazz on, I'm in the kitchen thriving.
Right.
I'm in my zone. Like, it's good, you know.
See, I know sometimes I put it on some Sade, you know, play
Yes, sir.
Smooth Operator, you know, something like that. Or, you know, I switch it up, I play some Dave East, you know, because that's what I was cooking to the other day when I was making the chicken Alfredo,
Yeah.
you know.
So I always go with like whatever the style of food I'm cooking. Like if I'm cooking Italian, I'll put on some Italian music. If I'm
Okay.
cooking, Mexican, I'll put on some Latin music.
Oh, so you're
like,
just sunken into
I'm
the-
like,
into
I want to
the
get
dish.
immersed into whatever I'm doing.
All right. Now, we see you guys whispering over here. What's your game plan right now?
Right now, I make my own Cajun seasonings here. So you see, I brought my own stuff, which I'm gonna actually leave with y'all just
I
so
saw you
y'all can
mixing
have
that
that.
up when you got
Yeah, I
it
mix
first
up.
thing.
You see my bag over here. I'm a traveling chef, so what I do is I have a bag full of seasoning. See, I don't. If I'm pulling up on you, I'm pulling up on you right. So I got that. So I make my own Cajun seasoning. So right now I'm just seasoning this up a little bit here. Put some flavor on these shrimp for you.
Okay. Now, usually, if it's a different type of dish, how long would you guys season the meat? Like, just depending on the dish, or?
Right. So it really just depends, man. Like, depends on what you're trying to do. If you need to marinate, some stuff doesn't need all that time. You can set me back here, bro. Sometimes you don't need all that time to marinate, but for something like this, I season right before. Like when you're making steaks, like the secret to that is you don't want to salt them too early. What happens is the salt brings out all the moisture out of the steak. So people like to marinate them, but they're like, oh, I'm gonna put the salt on too early. I wouldn't salt a steak until I'm about to put it in the pan.
Gotcha.
That's one of those secret tips that you need to know. That way, when you're making it, it doesn't dry your meat out.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yes,
For
sir.
me, someone like I'm an amateur chef. Like I like to, be in the kitchen a little bit, but I never really got down on marinade. Like, do you think that marinade really adds? Obviously it depends on what you're cooking, but do you think marinade really adds that extra element to dishes?
I do. Honestly, I feel like if the longer you marinate, the more flavor is going to be infused. That's just automatic. Just like anybody who's had spaghetti, you know that spaghetti tastes better the second day around.
Sure
You know what I mean? That's because those flavors had time to marinate. They had time to marry each other, is like I like to say.
I hope my wife's listening to this because I tell her that and she argues against it. She likes to keep the pasta separate from the sauce. I'm like, no, you got to mix them.
No. You have to mix them, and I mean, some people do it, and I do it. If you look at some of my pictures and stuff on there, I do it where the sauce is separate from there, and I'll put it on top or whatever. But again, the sauce just gets better as the days go on. So I feel like the same thing happens when you're doing your meat and seasoning it over the days. It's gonna get better and better, But that's not always necessarily a fact. Like right now, I don't have to marinate these shrimps for them to be good,
Right.
It's just certain things you want to do.
Now, boy said he's married, Ooh, my mic don't fell off. But what's, for me, like a single guy, what's a good dish for me to impress the ladies?
Salmon.
Salmon off top?
Yeah, because it's quick. It's something that if you overcook it, you won't really tell. With a steak, you can definitely tell if you overcook or undercook a steak. With chicken, it's the same way. With salmon, it gives you a little room. It always pairs well with pasta. It's a good go-to protein. I think that even if you throw it in the oven, you don't have to do too much with it. A little squirt of some lime, some dill, or some parsley on the top, and you're good to go.
So salmon, okay. What about you, Chef B?
I feel like what you just told me you made earlier is a good dish.
Chicken
I feel like
Alfredo?
chicken Alfredo
Okay.
is a win. Put you a Caesar salad, chicken Alfredo. You get to show off a little bit of the skill there, you know what I mean?
Wine pairing.
And
There
it's
you go.
easy,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
It
It's
is.
easy,
It's easy.
flavorful, and good. So you get you a salad, something to go with that, and that shrimp chicken Alfredo, whatever. I
Okay.
think that's a really good starter right there with a nice garlic bread or,
Okay.
whatever. I think that's
See,
a
I
great
just had the
option.
pasta, I didn't have the garlic bread. I might have the garlic bread too later. Yeah.
The extra addition. Plus, you could dip it in the sauce.
Exactly. See, I wasn't thinking all that, but
Yeah.
I was just hungry. But for sure though. So salmon, I'm gonna have to try that next time if I want to press a young lady out there.
Absolutely.
Now, Chef Kenny, like we know you guys cook for a lot, if not all of the Blazers at different times. But what is is it difficult to kind of craft the correct kind of menu for these guys? Because these are professional athletes. They need a lot of certain proteins. They need very specific diets. Now, does the organization help you?
Yes.
Like with a nutritionist or things like that, or?
Yes, they do. Yes. Shout out to Michelle. She's a great resource. She pretty much connects us with a lot of the clients. Shout out to Ben. He lets us know how they're doing and what things we need to do, whether it's up, down, strength, speed, however we have to do it. It's really up to them to tell us. And then with them being creatures of habit, we just try and make the same things and do what I like to call is play the hits. If they like something, you keep making that. You don't try and deviate. And it's different than a normal restaurant where you have someone and you have to have so many different options. If they like something, you make it, and then you just kind of bounce back and forth from there. But you don't really need to do a lot of different dishes to impress them. You know what I mean? It's about making sure that the food tastes good, making sure that you have enough variety in your menu, but also being consistent so they're not, what is this octopus dish? You know what I mean? Like you don't always have to embellish the dish to make it good. So yeah, it's a lot of communication, teamwork, and just staying in your lane, knowing when to make the right thing instead of the extravagant thing.
I'm assuming that changes with guys that are like injured because they're in recovery mode.
Yeah, it all changes as far as what they eat, but how much of it, things like that. But it's all the same song, like that's the thing about diets. It's protein, carbs, and you get your fiber and nutrients from your vegetables, and we just play with the notes from there. Either we go up or we go down on certain things, and how much food you eat. Like you're saying, somebody's injured is not going to play a certain amount of games, so they're not in needing to spend 40 minutes on the court. You eat way more doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you don't need that, we're not going to put that in you. But that's really about the only difference.
Now, with the team, you know, they're on the road trip, 6-game
Yeah.
road trip. You guys are back in Portland. What do you guys do while the team is away on a long road trip?
It all depends. Sleep.
Yeah.
You know, we definitely sleep. We try and get time with our family. We try and relax. What many people don't understand is that we are going the same amount of time that they go. So everything that they eat when it comes to in season or sometimes out of season, we have to be there. So most times when they're going to the game, we make the pregame meal. If they want to have breakfast and have to be at the practice facility at 8:30, that means that we are preparing breakfast by 7:30. So I have to be up by 5 a.m. So there are things like that where we dedicate our time and our energy to make sure that it's all focused on them. So when they're gone, we try and take a breather, reassess the menu, speak to the trainers, make sure everything's going well, try and stock the houses, make sure they have everything they need for their return, because they don't return in normal hours like everyone else.
Right.
They're not
They
gonna
might
take-
get in at 3 in the morning.
Exactly.
you know?
They're not
Yeah.
taking the first or the last flight out. When they're done, they get on the plane, and when they get home is when they get home. So we want to make sure that they're comfortable as quick as possible. Yeah, that's about it. You know, some guys stay home, just depending, but yeah, that's most of them.
And there's like no meal prep, like everything's fresh for them.
Yes,
Or-
yes, everything's fresh. That's the funny part. Is that's how I auditioned for Alan. For
Okay.
Alan Crabb when I first got him as a client. I was making meal preps for him, and I would come every 3 days and see that they were still in the fridge. And I'm like, man, like, do you even really want this?
Right.
And he's like, the food is good, but I don't want to have to reheat it. So I said, okay, well, check this out. I'll just come every day. That way, it'll still be the meal prep price,
Right.
but I'll cook it fresh. Once I did that, we went at that for a year, and we saw the value that you like meal preps and they're good, but if you can have it fresh right
Right.
then,
It makes it totally different.
It makes it totally different. So we want to make sure that every meal, every time, is going to be quality, it's going to be healthy, and at whatever time you need it. You know, so like you said, they get in at 3 a.m. sometimes. If they want food after playing the game, then food has to be ready.
You gotta be by the bat phone.
Yes,
Like, hey,
yeah,
it's
hey,
3:30.
yes,
They landing at
hey,
PDX.
man.
Like,
Yeah,
yo,
Yes.
looking at the landing time.
That's what I called it with ET. It was the bat phone.
Uh-huh.
Like if you call me, man, I'm gonna be right there. It was funny. We just linked up when he was out here playing with the Hawks, and it was
Right.
good to see him, man. Good to connect and just be able to bond again. It was a good thing. Yeah.
I got a question from one of our followers, Team Mom. Shout out Team Mom.
Oh yeah, Team Mom at TC Biggs. Yeah.
But her question was, and she said, you don't gotta name names.
Okay.
But what's one of the more like quirky type or weird requests that a player has or a client has asked from you?
Weird request.
Like
I see you laughing,
octopus,
Chef B.
squid.
Like, I know it may shock, it may be a boring answer, but there aren't any really weird requests. Like,
Really?
yeah.
No one's
time.
going outside the box.
Like
No.
shark fin or
No,
something like,
no.
I don't know.
No,
something.
Pop
it's
over to China
honestly
real
like
quick.
if they want shark fin, it's because they're in another country
Yeah.
and it may be a delicacy there, but we don't find shark fin in Fred Meyer. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
so,
right.
they ask for things that we normally have here. We have regular dishes that they like. Yeah, like when we cook for them and they're in season, if it's not broke, we don't fix it. You know,
Right,
so
okay,
like
yeah.
we're not trying to experiment with a dish that's just supposed to make you healthy. It's designed to fuel you. It's not designed to shock and awe you and things of that nature. So no, it's no real weird request. It's just time requests are the weirdest thing for us. Asking us to cook for a certain amount of people in a certain amount of time.
Gotcha.
That one
You
is
know,
the one.
10 people in 2
We're gonna have
hours,
23
right?
people coming over tonight.
Exactly.
Can we do that in an hour?
Yeah, like
All the families in town or something
exactly
like that.
things
Yeah,
like
I know about
that. And,
That.
yeah, and you find out at halftime.
Yeah.
You know, and you're at the game. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
You're like,
okay,
I gotta
well,
leave the game now.
Yeah, yeah.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
and
I can see that happening.
What's the most people that you cooked for?
in general, the most people I've ever cooked for, I would say 100.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say 100 or so. And that was just as far as doing the Street of Dreams. We do the Street of Dreams every year, and they have a VIP thing we do on Wednesdays where they'll shut down the entire event space, and certain companies that are invited will come, and then they'll do their own walkthroughs, and we provide food for that. So I would say that's the most we've ever cooked for, just as ourselves. Yeah, but and that's as far as I'll take it, to be honest. I really like to hammer home that food should be quality. Food should be something that you don't just eat to eat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we want to make sure that it's a particular experience and have a conversation with each person we serve. So about 100 is as close as you can get before it's just food on the plate.
Okay. Now with that, with cooking for a whole bunch of people, now I know I did some research on you.
Yeah.
You donated some time at the Bonnie Tinker House, is that correct?
Yes. I got hooked up there with my friend Angela Frazier. She was doing a lot of work with that house and with that Bradley Engel Foundation. She recently had her home dedicated with her mother. So we're just working with them, and I will go on Mondays and just teach the kids and the moms how to cook small and quick meals that they could have when they come home from school, or if mom is on a budget and there's some things that you see in the cupboard that you're not really used to, just helping them familiarize themselves with ingredients as a basic. You know what I mean? Like know what flour and sugar, and like we did corn dogs.
Okay.
Corn dogs from scratch. So now you can see flour and baking powder and things like that go into a meal, dip your little corn dog with a toothpick. And it was things like that where we just showed them basic cooking skills and tried to get them to, upon their transition, be healthier, be happier, and just overall as a family eat better.
Okay. Now with that, I know you're a personal chef right now.
Yeah.
After that, or do you see yourself continuing doing this for a while?
Oh no. I love it, but I definitely find myself wanting to allow the next wave of chefs to run their race with the next wave of athletes.
Okay.
Like it's a grind, it's a marathon. I want to hopefully step back and teach other people to do this, and then when I teach them, we can just have the same connection with the Blazers or with other organizations, and hopefully just pair them off and find their way, because it's a great business, but it's a personal and private business, and the clients I have now I hope to keep long into the future, but I don't see myself competing like I used to and going after new clients and things like that.
What's some points that you have for people that's trying to like grow up and be in that field that you're in right now?
No more than cooking. No, way more than cooking. When it comes to private chef services, your clients want to speak to you about current events. They want to speak to you about what's going on in their family. They want to speak to you about what's in the food, how your family is doing. So engage yourself in life. Be educated about everything, because if you're not, you're just going to be the chef that's cooking their meal and then you're on the way out the door.
Yeah.
You know,
And that can be awkward at times.
it can
huh?
be very,
Yeah,
very
I
awkward
believe it,
when
yeah.
someone's in a winning streak or a losing streak, or something's happening with their family. Like you don't want to just be a person in the room that can't offer a comforting word, or even just be a vibrant spirit that doesn't have anything to do with speaking. You know, you want to know how to have the right, have the right energy at the right time that has nothing to do with doing your job. I think that that's the most thing, as long as you know how to engage and be yourself in a space without being too overbearing or too invisible.
All right,
I
okay.
think that would be the best.
Yeah.
Personality goes a long way.
A long way.
I believe it. I believe it. So we're gonna cut to Chef B right here. I see him putting some cheese in the grits.
Oh
Is
yeah,
that right?
man, you gotta get the cheesy grits, man. You can't have shrimp and grits if you're not putting cheese in the grits. I'm
believe
sorry.
it. I know
I
that's how
don't
my
know
grandma,
what they out there doing, you
My
know.
grandma did that back in the day. She
Right.
put the cheese in the grits.
Granny
I
know what's up.
Yeah, for sure.
Granny knows what's up. So I got the cheese here. The cheesy grits is done. They're over here just sitting there. You see I got that on. Right now I'm getting the shrimp done over here. Then I'm gonna start putting the sauce together. Then I'm gonna take the shrimp out, make the sauce, put it back together, and then I'm gonna plate you up. And y'all gonna get to have y'all final taste there.
Man, it smells great
can't wait.
already.
I
Like,
can't
I wish we had smell-o-vision, right? You know you can share with everybody.
Shrimps. The
I'm
shrimps
telling you,
good.
listeners, if you're listening on the podcast audio, you got to go to our website. You got to get on Facebook and see this because it looks just as good as it smells. I promise you.
Yeah. And now, Chef B, what are your career aspirations after being a personal chef?
Man, after being a personal chef, honestly, my goal is I want to open up a family-style restaurant or food truck. I've had so many people that have tried my food that are just like, you really need to do this.
Yeah.
Like, you really, and I love being creative. Like, there's sometimes me and Chef Ken, we'll sit around and I'll just say something and then he'll just be like, yeah, and if we just did this to it, and then we just did that to it. We just did that on the way here. We came up with a little idea and was like, that would be so good for a sandwich. And you like sandwiches. Man, it would be a banging sandwich. So the thing, I really want to share the food with the people. Like a lot of people see the athletes get this good food and they're like, man, what I wouldn't do to have your food and I want to taste it. And I'm like, I would love to share my food with everybody. You know, like I feel like I'm a great chef. I feel like I cook really well. And I've been told these things and I'm like, well, if that's the case, then let's do that. You know, I want family style though. I want people to be able to bring your kids. I want you to feel comfortable and have some good comfort food that when you leave there, you're like, man, I can't wait to go back. That was so good. And then you full still, and you're still thinking about the next one. You know what I mean? So that's where I see it. Eventually, at some point, I do want to get a restaurant or a food truck, something that's start off maybe even both. You know, I don't know. I don't know. You know, but it sounds like you can hit all kind of markets.
Right. We talked about a favorite Thanksgiving dish, but what about your favorite dish? Like just in
My favorite dish for Thanksgiving.
Or no, just in general.
Oh, in general. I love oxtails. I ain't gonna lie, that's one of my things. I'm an oxtail. I love me some oxtails, man. I love Jamaican cuisine, and oxtails is one of my favorite things. If you got oxtails, I'm there. You know, and it's one of those things that's not offered everywhere. Yeah, so that's one of those things I have to make my own usually. But you know, when you can go somewhere and they make you some fire oxtails, oh man, I love it. I love it.
It's been a while since I had an oxtail. I can't even.
I had some oxtail soup a couple weeks ago.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, my wife cooked it up real quick.
See?
Okay.
See?
I'm gonna have to stop by.
Right?
How about you, Chef Kenny?
My grandmother's chicken wings. And,
Right, you can't go wrong, Grandma's chicken wings. Yeah.
Like I've learned to cook those things since I was a kid.
No,
And,
seriously.
like,
For real?
yeah,
He's the fried chicken.
known how to make those wings since I was at least 10 years old, and I love them to death. I can make them in my sleep.
Okay,
And
okay.
they taste good. Every client I've ever had, if I want to win them over, I just throw the wings at them. And if I throw the wings at you, like I don't see myself losing.
Now, to me, I judge a good chicken wing if you could just eat it by itself. You don't need to add nothing, not a side dish or anything.
Yeah.
If you could eat like 3, 4, 5 of them by themselves, that's a good chicken wing.
Yeah, I judge a wing by who's in the kitchen.
Oh, okay.
You know, like if I'm cooking and there are people that are sneaking in the kitchen trying to grab that wing fresh out the oil,
It's good. It's
then
good.
it's good.
Okay,
if you get people coming in going, ooh, they done yet? That's how I know I got a good wing.
Rubbing your shoulder.
Yeah, you tell me.
Kenny did the other day doing
Yeah,
that.
exactly. That's
Dame
what I'm
came in the
saying.
house the other day and he said, I'm just looking for the chicken. Where is it? He was like, I came here specifically for the chicken. I
I'll
said,
get out of your way. Just give me those pieces.
So, and they know to head for the kitchen, not not where the catering space is that has they go, all right, I'm going for the fresh batch that he's gonna be taking right out, putting it right on the paper towel, get the right seasoning on it. So yeah,
For sure. Now, if you can, tell us where we can find you at on your Instagrams or your Twitters.
you can find me at Chef Kenny James on Instagram. You can find me at K James Cuisine on Facebook. That's really the only two places I tend to be if I do have any time for social media. You can find me as Chef Coat on Snapchat. I'm there usually trying to offer a little bit more insight on the recipes because I can be a little bit faster. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right. What about you, Chef B?
Oh yeah, I'm Chef B PDX on IG, and I mean on my Facebook it's under my personal name, Brandon Johnson. But those are the two places that I'm mostly. Sometimes I'm on my Snapchat, but that's at Be Easy the Boss.
Right. Now I've checked their IG pages and the food looks good. And this right here, I see he just put in the onions in there. It's looking even
Throw
good
some shallots
here.
in there.
Okay.
And see, you see all this right here? That's not burnt. That's love. Okay? That's love. I need y'all to know that.
That's love.
That that's love.
Right, for sure.
I'm gonna remember that.
And then so now I put the garlic in here. Now this isn't me making the sauce now, you know what I mean? Because I gotta get these flavors infused in here. Now he's gonna put that in there. What they call doing with that is called deglazing the pan. So you see how it's starting to get the love off the pan right there? That's called deglazing the pan, man. And that's where the flavor comes at. It's all that seasoning and juices that you done cooked in while you've been frying or sauteing. And so now all that's coming right off. You see, that's all flavor, and that's the base and the start of it.
What I would have done, if I'm cooking
You'd
bacon,
clean
I'll
that out.
just scrape it right off into the trash.
Yeah, see, no, that's flavor, man. That's the same thing like what you do with your steaks. Any of that stuff, like when you do that, see, that's all where your flavor is at. And if you what you're doing is you're throwing that flavor away.
I see now.
And now
I
you're starting all
something.
over from scratch.
Right. Okay.
You know, no, I don't want to start from scratch. I want that flavor in there.
That's deglazing.
That's
people.
deglazing.
Straight from Chef B.
So we got another question from one of our Blazer Gang members. What is your favorite dessert to make? Like, we talked a lot about savory stuff. Let's go to make Auntie.
Favorite dessert to make. Favorite dessert to make.
I see Chef B over there.
Peach cobbler.
He's
Peach cobbler. My God.
That does sound
fresh
good.
ice cream.
Okay.
Peach cobbler sounds great. Favorite dessert to eat is banana pudding ice cream.
Hey, I'm going to try this banana,
It is
banana
the
pudding ice
best
cream.
of
Like, let
both
me know when I can
worlds.
pick
Because this is the second time y'all talked about it.
That's why I keep looking up
Yeah,
that.
look.
I'm
Like,
just going to
'cause
tell
it
you because
is-
I know.
Like, I'm thinking about it right now, man.
It's
Like,
that good, huh?
It's just because you with banana pudding, either you get it too soggy or
Right.
you get it and it's not set enough so the cookies are still hard.
Exactly.
Like it's too early or it's too late. With the ice cream, you don't get that. It's just straight
It's just
smooth.
smooth.
It's the cookies are nice. Like Ben and Jerry's is gonna bite his style. I'm
Oh,
telling
alright,
you, man.
alright.
Like,
You better get patent on it or something.
yeah,
I
it's
need
real.
to.
Sure,
It's that
for
real.
sure.
It's that
When
real.
you got the homemade, it's all creamy.
It's so
It's
good.
so
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
man. I ain't gonna
It's
lie.
real.
And I don't do a lot of sweets like myself to eat. But
I got you.
I do enjoy. But when I do make or when I do want to eat dessert,
Uh-huh.
my red velvet pound cake, man.
Okay.
I make a red velvet pound cake. That's
See,
out of
my
this
dad, he
world.
loves red velvet.
Yes,
Every,
sir.
every time we go to Safeway or something. Now I know Safeway doesn't. See, I know. See, he's in
He's like,
disgust
what
right
are
now.
you
He's in
doing?
disgust right now.
Leave it.
Yeah, Safeway's gonna be out the door if he gets some of his Chef B's cake. But that's what my dad goes for. He goes for the red velvet for sure. But what's your favorite dessert, boy?
Man, I'm a sweet tooth. Now here's the thing. I got an affinity for sweets. Like
Okay.
my whole life. I'll buy a pie and eat the whole pie, right?
Oh man.
But here's the thing. My wife is allergic to eggs.
Really?
Yeah, so she's allergic to eggs, which means I don't really get those baked goods no more. So I've kind of veered away. But if I have to pick something, I just like some like triple chocolate cake.
Oh yeah, you definitely got.
Get a
sweet
glass
tooth.
of cold milk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's yours?
Mine is it's my grandma's banana pudding. That's what I'm gonna say. I know Thanksgiving's right around the corner. I can't wait to fly
You're
home.
already thinking about it?
I'm thinking about the video: greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, ham, hogs, dogs, all that.
You're just yelling banana pudding.
I'm just banana pudding. Grandma, where the banana pudding at? You know, seriously,
Make an extra batch for you to take home.
for sure.
Get some
I'll take it.
Tupperware.
I'll take it on the plane. You know. So Chef B, what are you doing right now with the
Man,
sauce?
I'm over here mixing it up. So, I done made this cream sauce now. So what I did is I put It was the butter, like I said, the bacon grease. You don't want to discard that when you're making shrimp and grits. And I'm constantly whisking around here just to make sure that it doesn't break the sauce. What happens if you cook it on too high or something, you're going to have the oil separate from the cream, and then it's going to be a hot mess. So what I'm doing is I'm slowly incorporating this heavy whipping cream right now. Then I'm going to add the flavor to it, so I'm going to season this a little bit more. And then I'm going to add back in the bacon crumbles along with the shrimp, and then we're going to start the plate.
Man,
You learn something new every day.
I can't wait. All I had today was a bowl of cereal because I know that y'all was going to come in and throw it out in the kitchen.
I'd like to hear that.
No.
Yes, sir.
I already know. And then we also had one more question from, let me see, who was it from? It was from Blazing Like a Trail, Jericho Blaze 06. He said, what are your guys' favorite ingredients to cook with and why?
Favorite ingredient?
My favorite ingredients is garlic.
Garlic, okay.
Top.
Okay.
I use garlic almost in everything that I make. Garlic powder. My holy trinity is garlic, salt, and pepper.
There
Honestly,
you
that's
go.
a real basic,
Yeah.
but it's really what flavors things. So to me, you've got those three, you win it.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
off top, and especially fresh garlic. I just like the way it adds a certain bite and taste to everything.
What about you, Chef Kenny? I see you over there thinking real hard.
That's deep thought.
I would say thyme,
Time.
Okay.
because I've used it in West Indian cooking. I use it as a part of my bouquet when I'm using French cooking for gravies and sauces. So if I was to say there was a herb or something that I could use that was versatile to me and would allow me the most flavor for size, I would definitely say thyme.
Okay, time.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, because you can use it fresh off the sprig, man. Throw it into Italian sauces. You can throw it in curries. You know, like
Just in anything.
In anything.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah. I think it's a good herb.
Now I saw Chef B over there throwing some. What was you throwing in there,
hot
man?
sauce, man.
That
That
hot
was that good
sauce. Okay,
Louisiana.
yeah.
Try to sneak that in
You
there.
see
Yeah, I
me?
saw it with the
See
little couple
with the
drips,
side,
drips,
and I
something
put a
coming
little
over there with the
Worcestershire
camera.
sauce in there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm putting these flavors together. This is what we call building layers.
Okay, building
we layer
layers.
building right now. We done already started with some of this stuff, so now everything's just coming together. I'm gonna taste it.
See, I already learned a couple things: building layers,
Don't break the sauce.
deglazing it, as he would say.
It's like a cooking class 101.
No, hey, I'm grateful for this right here. I'm gonna try this at home.
The crazy thing is, so many people have asked me when am I gonna do that, and I'm like, and that's what Kim wants to do anyway. He wants to start a school teaching people.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. Like I do want to do maybe blogs or something. Maybe do something where teaching some
Yeah.
people how to do that. Unfortunately, as the type of chefs we are and what we do, we don't have
Don't
that
have the
time.
time, correct,
Like
right,
so,
right,
it's
right.
not that we don't want to, and it's not that like I try to throw tips out there every now and again when I can to tell people, oh, this is how you do this or this is how you should do that. You know, I've coined myself sear guy. You know.
Okay.
So I love, like, I feel like I make really good sears, fish, steak, shrimp, all those type
Yeah.
of things. I feel like I get a nice coat on those meats. So I call myself that, and I try to teach people, hey, this is what you need to do. Put your heat here, do this.
Right.
Unfortunately, I have to watch my language because I am very open and real when I talk, and I don't
Yeah.
even think about it. But I feel like if I work on that, it will be good. You know,
Yeah.
I can do that.
I also actually, on top of teaching, I want to eventually open a sports bar here.
Okay.
Yeah, with how close I've been to the team and the things I've been able to collect over the years, I want to just line the walls with Blazers history that I was a part of. I know that the city loves its team, and it showed us a lot of love since we've been here. So I want to give it back by having a space where you can host games and podcasts and
Yeah.
just something where you see. I don't even want to give it away, but I have tons of.
No, I see the vision. I see the
Yeah, I
vision.
have tons of autographed items. I have jerseys. I have tickets. I have a bunch of things that I can't wait to show the world and tell stories about into my old age, and just have a place where Portland can go and watch the game and be comfortable and really bring people that visit and say, this is our history. This is the team we've had. We've had championship years here. We also had so many different transitions and shots. And yeah, like being there for the shot with Dame was crazy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then he does it again. Like,
Now
so.
you and I know you were at the game. I was at the game also.
No, I wasn't. That's the crazy.
Man.
I
tell
was.
you,
Where you was
Yeah,
there, man?
I had to leave to cook dinner for post game.
Man.
So that's what we mean by sacrifices.
Right.
It was the third quarter, and usually to beat traffic, to go to the store and shop and do everything that I need to do, I have to leave around third quarter, halfway into the third.
Yeah.
So I'm driving home, headed towards the store pretty much, grabbing my chef coat, grabbing everything, and now I'm leaving the house, hearing the end of the game on the radio.
And I know you were like, damn it.
Yes, like, so,
Let's work off the road.
yeah. I'm yelling, I'm excited, and I still have to cook dinner after that, you know. So it was kind of a like I was just standing in front of the stove, excited, man, because if you know Dame, you know that's in him. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like that's not a when we look at him, we don't see him missing it. You know what I mean? Like I've been telling him since he was a rookie that there are 3 people that I trust with the ball in their hands regardless. It's Michael Jordan, Kobe, and Dame.
Ooh,
That's it.
you put him up there with the goats.
What last second, if I'm handing anybody the ball
It's
for
Dame.
my life,
It's
I
Dame.
will say I don't have
And you know
no
what?
hesitation.
It's a great case because
Yeah.
he's hit the one OKC, he hits the one against Houston.
Yes.
You know, when they
Yeah,
had
plenty
Dwight
during
Howard.
the regular
Yeah,
season
plenty during the
that
regular.
we're just glossing over.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it's
Yeah.
not about overall game. It's not about. I'm not talking. I'm not giving my life to Steph Curry with 0.9 seconds on the clock.
You'd rather take Dame.
I'm taking Dame at 0.9
All-
seconds.
all
Just
day,
like we
every
talked
day.
about, he's got
All
that
day,
killer
every
mentality.
day.
Yeah.
Killer. He has the mentality to understand that the moment is not about the last second. It's about everything after that. Am I
Exactly.
going to be able to live with myself beyond the moment? And if I can, then do everything I can in the moment to be the best of my ability. So he does things because it doesn't weigh on him the same way other people do.
Right.
He can respect it and take it head on. You know what I mean? So no, I don't doubt that at all.
I like that. I'll take Dame on the last
Yeah,
second.
I'll take it.
And I'll take Chef B and Chef Kenny on making these shrimp and grits, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I see him.
5-star.
I saw him plating the shrimp on top of the grits right there. Now, when you're doing your presentation, what are you looking for, Chef B?
I mean, honestly, I'm looking for visual appeal. I'm looking for colors. I'm looking for height.
Okay.
Usually I try, so sometimes like this didn't stay up exactly how I wanted to, you know, sinking in the grits a little bit, but
It's
usually
okay.
I try to
It's
post.
gonna get eaten.
Oh, it's going for sure. It'll go there. You know, and so I look for things like that.
Okay.
And color pop, that's another thing. Like, we always try to do that. And I always like to make sure to clean it up because, you know, you don't want to present that or throw that out there looking any kind of way.
And what's that on top of your plate?
This
What
right
is
here,
that?
I'm putting some scallions.
Okay.
I'm gonna put a little parsley on top of this to go
For the
along
color.
with that for the colors.
Freshly chopped.
Freshly chopped off the top. And then, just for the heck of it, you know, let's go ahead and add some more of that bacon that's in there back on there.
Now you just put some fresh chopped parsley on there. Now for some of our viewers that might be some home chefs, what's the difference between like using a dried spice or a fresh spice? Like when do you want to use either or?
Dried spices are for something that's going to rehydrate. So you can use a dried spice for a sauce because it's going to release the aromatics into it over time. So you can have dried more bite to it. It's going to have a little bit more of a palate cleansing flavor. So dried, it doesn't have that. It's like something that's breathing and living at the time. So
All I know, my palate is going to appreciate this right here.
It's breathing and living right now.
This is looking very good. We appreciate you guys coming in and throwing down in the kitchen.
Appreciate you guys
Get
having
that
us
close
and
up, man.
giving yourself a good experience here.
Oh yeah, like I said, like I learned a couple things, you know, today, and I definitely will take that home and try some things out. Cause I like to cook here and there.
It's inspiring.
You know, like we said earlier, like I'm a I like to say I'm the king of the pasta. You know, I like the chicken Alfredo, the chicken penne, with the tomatoes in there and some spaghettis here and there.
Yeah.
So, but this right here, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to see if I can work this out in the kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to show you, give you some pointers on that.
Sure. Now, we talked about the Blazers a little bit earlier. You know, slow start of the season. Boy, what with the signing of Melo was non-guaranteed.
I mean, we barely talked about it.
Yeah, we barely talked because
And that's what
we're
everyone-
distracted by the food too. You
It's
know.
hard. It's hard, man.
Yeah.
You gotta balance it.
So what are your expectations?
Expectations. Well, I mean, granted, we know he hasn't been on the court for a year. You
Mhm.
know, his last game was like November 8th or something last year. That's not to say he hasn't been working out, but working out in the gym and doing your drills is different than being in the game.
Mhm.
You know, if you come back from an injury, it takes you time to get back into game shape. So I think right off the bat, I'm not really expecting too much. You
Mhm.
know, and I don't want to dog on guys, but like what he's gonna bring us offensively is better than, you know, what we can get out of an Anthony Tolliver right now, or what we've been getting out of Mario, even though Mario has that potential to do more. And so I think right off the bat, he at least adds a value, a service that we can use immediately, which is his mid-range jumper. He
Right.
can get that off over guys. He's tall, he's kind of lengthy, and he's a threat to get to the rim, so you got to respect it.
Exactly.
But as far as long term for the rest of the season, you know, assuming he's here for the whole season, I really like him as maybe kind of a veteran leader with the second unit
Mhm.
when things are breaking down and they need a guy that can go get a bucket. You know, I'm thinking like Olympic Melo style.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, I know Melo, he could get a bucket. Me personally, after the loss to Sacramento, I was like, man, we gotta pick somebody up. And I know I put it on.
You literally said it.
I did, man. And then I put it on my Instagram account. I was like, should we sign Melo? And no later than 3 or 4 days,
Yeah.
we signed Melo because we just need that stretch forward, somebody who can hit that outside shot and make the defense respect, you know, that other scorer and open up the floor for Dame and CJ. So
Yeah.
I think it would be a good fit.
I know you've been talking about him since last year.
Yeah, I like Melo, man. You know, you got to put respect on his name. He's a future Hall of Famer. You know, but I know we both
Melo
eyeing these
aside.
plays right now. We're gonna put some
Hell
respect
yeah.
on these chefs on the beautiful dish that they created. This is shrimp and grits with the bacon bits on top. And let's. I appreciate you guys.
Chef
I
B,
appreciate you guys.
Chef
problem.
Kenny,
No
Chef
problem.
Kenny.
Happy to
much
do it.
obliged.
Yes,
Let-
sir. Yes,
let
sir.
us see what this
The proof is in the
man.
taste.
Man.
That's
Yeah,
where it's
what you
at,
think.
man. You let me
Oh,
know
look
what
at
you
that.
think.
Look, man, I'm happy. I don't even care. You know, the grits are good. The grits are good. Let me see the shrimp.
I need the bill.
What's the tab? Yeah.
And
If
you weren't
y'all
playing-
want
you
these
weren't playing
shrimps
about
and
the
grits,
grits.
man, if y'all want these shrimp and grits, check out my man Chef B and Chef Kenny. Once again, I want you guys to tell them where you can find you guys at on your IGs and Twitters.
You can find me at Chef Kenny James, all one word on IG. Chef Coat on Snapchat. You can find me at K James Cuisine on Facebook, and just reach out. Reach out.
Absolutely. Same thing here. I'm Chef B PDX on IG, Chef B PDX on Twitter, and Beezy the Boss on Snapchat.
Hey, this is the real deal, man. They came down
Yeah.
this afternoon. They came in our little makeshift kitchen, you know. So just imagine what they could do in a real kitchen and more room so they could operate. But this right here is A1, man. Thank you guys,
Yeah,
man.
we're gonna have
Appreciate it,
to
man.
sign off here so we can dig in. But make sure y'all following us on Spotify, on iTunes, on Google Music. Make sure you subscribe to us. Go ahead, like us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and I'm probably forgetting some stuff. Thank you, AV Rental Services. We changed the name recently. Thank you, Derron, for all this work here on the weekends, and make sure you get some of this too. But that's it for us.
Yeah, I feel like people don't want to rep their city, man. Rep city, I rep my city. Portland 503. I need you to stand up right now. OG1, I see with G.